Hi, guys. Welcome back to yet another episode of According to Blake. I am so excited for today. We're going to talk our shit as we usually do, and we're going to keep it going. So let's do it. So first, I hope that everyone had a wonderful holiday kickoff. I hope that everybody ate well. I hope that everybody enjoyed. For the first time ever, because y'all know I lived in New York. I moved out of the city. Now I live in the burbs. For the first time ever, I have enough space to host people. So my family came to me, and it was really great. You know, I just love, I feel like this is the first. I had said it because I hosted an event with Belvedere in my home, and I was telling my friends while they were there, this is the first home that I'm really, really excited about. And I've been excited, but this is the first time that I'm not in four walls, closing it, feeling like I'm in four walls, closing in on me. Like I joke all the time, my last apartment, I could spin around and see all four corners of the space. So I loved it. I really got to get into the holiday spirit. Now, as we move into Christmas, my mama has hit us with the, so what y'all doing for Christmas? She has decided that she wants to take a break this year from the cooking. So I will be cooking this year. I cannot wait to report back. I will be making Teeny's mac and cheese, which has y'all in a tizzy. What did Teeny do to y'all? If the mac and cheese is going to taste good, who cares if you don't want to use a roux? If you can get it to the perfect mac and cheese with a roux, and if you can get it to the perfect mac and cheese without a roux, then it's fine. Who cares? I hate when people, and we'll get into that with Chronically Online, but it's always well, my granny don't make it like that. Like Teeny said with that sound, I don't give a damn about what your granny do. Everybody relax. It's mac and cheese. However, I do need to find those noodles. I have enough lead time now. We're 20 days out because I need to find those corkscrew noodles because y'all have sold out the corkscrew noodles for Thanksgiving. So need to figure that out. Right after this, literally right after I get out of here, I am headed to Art Basel. I'm headed to Miami. I'm super excited because I'm going with Modern Black Girl, Lamborghini, and Lobos. They're doing it together. So it's going to be a really exciting weekend. The guest list is just fab. I can't wait to see. And shout out to Tiff. She's the founder of Modern Black Girl, because right after this, I'm not just going to the airport. I'm going to the jet. So she is flying us in the PJ. She's giving us, the 5-star treatment all weekend. Well, all week. Y'all know Basel is during the week. So super excited. Going to be there through the weekend. Next episode will undoubtedly, unless it's an interview. We'll see. You guys have really been loving the individual episodes so much more. But I still, of course, I want other opinions but my own on this and on here. And I know so many other incredible minds that, of course, will be on the podcast. So I'll let y'all know. But nonetheless, an Art Basel recap will come in some capacity because I know it's about to be a zoo. As I do every single year that I'm at Basel, I'll be with Asia. So it's going to be a time. All right, let's dive into the topics. So what I realized, because I'm filming this on Wednesdays, is that this is the day that Salt Lake City comes out. So my Housewives reviews are always super up to date, except with Salt Lake City, because it literally comes out this same night, the same night that I film. Nonetheless, we are going to dive into Housewives. Oh, wait. Yeah, we'll dive into Housewives, then I'll go back. We have to do a little bit of political news. So first, Potomac. I say this every single week. And I'm at this point, it is infuriating. Mia's obsession with kids. Her entire storyline this season is either throwing her kids under the bus or talking about somebody else's kid. Now, I have been very outspoken. Am I a Giselle fan? Not in any stretch of the imagination. And I mean that not in any stretch. But it is clear that Mr. Cohen told her, you better learn to get along or else you're getting the boot. So this season, has she been tolerable? Sure. Mia bringing up Giselle's kids on something totally unrelated to prove a point is just not, it infuriates me, her obsession with talking about children. It makes me so weirded out. I don't get it. And all I can deduce is that she has nothing else important going on. So she has to make it about either her kids or other people's kids. But it's gross. It's really gross. Speaking of kids, I did watch Salt Lake City last week's episode because the day that we filmed, like I said, the new episode had come out, and it was a really, really, really touching episode. Particularly around Mary and the conversation that she had with her son. And is it a conversation that I know helps some people? Absolutely. Like, I was sitting there crying. It was really heavy. But I think at times in watching it, I was like, wait, should we be seeing this? Like, should we be able to see this? Now I know, like, as someone who makes a living off of letting people into my life and talking about my life, I understand that there are some things that these women do to show up for work. It is a job, right? I just do feel like there was a point where I was like, I don't know if I should be watching this. Like, I don't know if this is my business, if this conversation is my business. And again, that is absolutely not to diminish how powerful and how necessary conversations around addiction are. But I think because it seems that her son is not on the other side of said addiction, I think maybe it could have been handled more privately, but that is not my family. That's not my child. I do not have kids. It was a little, on one hand, like, I'm crying because I'm watching Mary. I don't think any of us have ever seen Mary be so vulnerable, and she is bearing her soul and really showing us a part of her life. But on the other end, like I said, I'm like, I feel like I'm in business that I shouldn't be in watching this. And so prayers out to Mary's son and to Mary. And, when she made that comment about, like, she wasn't happy until she had him, it really just made me like, that was when I really was like, oh my God, like, it was such an authentic conversation. Even the fact that that her son had admitted that he was high when the conversation had taken place. And it was so scary, the drugs and the combinations that he says that he frequents. So I'm just praying for both of them, praying for that family. Other than that, still loving Bronwyn. This past episode, like I said, I think everything was kind of teeing up for Mary. So I think that really was the focus of the episode. Moving on to New York City. I still really love Raquel. I really, really like her. I really, really like her fiance. I thought that the engagement party seemed so fun. It was Aaron and Abe really leaned in to the theme. I was really interested to see what everyone's interpretation of ballroom was going to be. Some I feel really nailed it. Others I was a little confused, but nonetheless, like I said, I really, really enjoy them. I do think that they are still kind of grasping at straws for drama. I think this Uba mess, now I'm confused. Like, I think now I'm like, wait, why are people beefing? Like, I don't really have a full understanding here of what all of this drama is between Uba and Aaron and and Sai and Aaron. There's just a lot of dramas everywhere, and it's still not landing. I will say this. And I like Uba. I know that people have mixed opinions about Uba. I like Uba. However, Uba has got to watch the way she talks to people. It's okay. Did you guys ever see that episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey where Dolores all of a sudden out of nowhere called Marge fucking see you next Tuesday? And it's like, oh, like, and so to see this last episode and Uba, they do the flashback where Uba's like, you don't tells Aaron, like, you don't have a secret on me, you stupid bitch. And that's supposed to be your friend. I think the way that she, like, that's why everybody's like, when the conversation came out and Bryn had told her not to come off as an angry Black woman. Uba does not come off as an angry Black woman to me, even though I've already spoken about how problematic it was that she was even told that. Sometimes it just comes off erratic. Like, it's like as if she just loses it and just spews craziness into the ether. That's what it comes off like to me sometimes. It doesn't come off as angry Black woman. So that was a little crazy to see that Uba just has these like outbursts when she speaks to people. She even had one at last reunion where I remember being like, what happened? Like, what was just said? So that part is a little touchy. Now moving on to Beverly Hills. It's still kind of, this is going to be a slow burn. I cannot believe how big Garcelle's sons are. Like, I feel like we watch them grow up. Boys hit those growth spurts and look like completely different people. So I cannot believe how old her sons are. I feel like this season, we're just going to watch a lot of Kyle and Dorit going back and forth. Dorit has really grown up here. She is standing on business with this Kyle situation. I talked about it before, but it seems to just be kind of the same storylines being carried out. I want something new. I want something fresh. Salt Lake City has been giving me that, but I'm like, and y'all know I love I love the Housewives universe, but I'm just kind of like, I'm bored. I'm uninspired. I need them to do some overhauls, and I need more beautiful ensembles like they're doing with Salt Lake City. Okay, moving on. So back to, like I had said about the political news and climate. Joe Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. It is about damn time. I don't want to hear anybody complain about it when we have a felon that is about to embark on the presidency for a second time in January. It's about time Joe did things like that. And now I will say, I am very much aligned with a lot of the critiques that have been made about the Democratic Party and their resistance to one thing about me. I've said it before. When one goes low, I'm going to hell. And I love Michelle Obama. But when one goes low, I'm going to hell. And I think the Democratic Party is a party that loves to live in the moral high ground. And I need somebody to come in and start playing dirty. So I say all that to say, it's about time Joe did things like this. I wish that he would have done more. Cannot wait until these 4 years are up. Hopefully sooner. Hopefully. I am claiming that we don't have to deal with 4 years of this bullshit. And Gavin Newsom can come in. Have you guys seen the hilarious tweets and threads around how they say that Gavin Newsom is like a crazy person who drinks the blood of his enemies? And that's what we need. Someone of good ethics, someone of good politics, who is still willing to go right to hell with these people. And I'm looking forward to that. So nonetheless, happy that Joe has decided to pardon Hunter. It seems long overdue. And I mean, we have another month of this. Let's see what else we can do in a month. I don't have high hopes. I do not have high hopes, but my hope is that more can be done. Something has got to be done. Moving on, I know we spoke about, so this has really, I was always doing the plastic surgery episode. I know that I talked about it, but I have to do a plastic surgery episode soon because the new faces that are popping up every single week are absolutely insane. If you do not know what I'm talking about, Donatella Versace has a brand new face. And y'all, she is unrecognizable. It is youthful. It is lifted. It is tucked. It is pulled. To whatever doctors have been doing this everything at once procedure, or who, started deciding what, it makes sense to just do all of the procedures at once rather than splitting them up. Y'all have been doing incredible work. I've been seeing incredible work. I don't know if you guys follow on Instagram, Dr. Truesdale. Black doctor does these incredible facelifts too. I have incredible facelifts all around me. Now, here's the thing. Is my hope that I don't ever need a facelift and the black doesn't crack? Absolutely. Speaking of, still a little swollen. The filler right here is still a little swollen. My lips are still a little swollen. But the Botox has settled. Y'all see that? The Botox has truly settled. My hope, though, well, I know because we're a week out. By next week, which is my 30th birthday, the lips and the face would have settled very nicely. So I'm very excited. My friend yesterday, I was FaceTiming her. She was like, I love your lips. I don't like them this full. I like them pared down a little bit, but you got to go bigger. You got to deal with the swelling to bring it down to the size that I love. And I also do a lip flip. So I also get Botox around the lips to make the lips go out. Anyway, just Google a lip flip. Okay. Just TikTok it. I have TikToks on my lip flip. It does sometimes impede a little bit, and I can feel it today. It impedes a little bit with talking and like drinking out of straws. You can sometimes feel it, but it's all worth it in the end. Okay. So yes, so stand by because we're going to do the plastic surgery episode because it's too much good work out here. Like I said, I hope that I don't ever need one, but I know that if ever I do need to go and get a full face revamp, I'm in good hands with some of these doctors. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Okay, so Serena Williams, I don't know if you all have seen, there's always a lot of discourse and conversation around Serena Williams' appearance. And most recently, there were allegations that she was bleaching her skin. She was at a play for her beautiful daughter, Olympia. And of course, she posted a video, as moms do, as she was supporting her daughter. And the skin bleaching, everybody was saying that she bleaches her skin. She came out, she made a video. Of course, she debunked that. But of course, she also emphasized that she was supporting her daughter's play. I guess they were a part of the daughter's play. So she had on stage makeup. Anyone that has ever worn a stage makeup, and not the modernized stage makeup, but like, you know, again, the stuff that you use for a kid's play, it truly will wash you out. Like, you really will look ghostly. So I completely agree with the sentiment. I don't think she's bleaching her skin. And another point that many people were making that is a really great point is we are so used to seeing her in her tennis career. You know, we were introduced to her when she was a teenager. She was in the sun all the time playing tennis. She doesn't do that now. She is a lady of leisure. She is a wife. She is a mother. She's a lady of leisure. She's not baking in the sun for hours and hours anymore, guys. Like, things change. Like, lack of sun changes things. Speaking of, I desperately need some sun. Like, it is the natural. It is naturally what our skin does. And so I do think, lay off, okay, of Serena. I think there are very few critiques that now, like I said, I do think Serena listened to y'all when people were critiquing heavily the wardrobe and the makeup. She popped out. Keita Moore had done her makeup, flawless, stunning. Her hair, flawless, stunning. She had on that beautiful black dress. I remember, I think she 100% takes the feedback, but guess what? I don't think that we need to give feedback on how she looks at her daughter's play. Like, I don't think so. So there are not many critiques too that you can say about Serena. She is the GOAT. She is the absolute GOAT. I adore her. I think she is fantastic. She is a businesswoman. She is one of the best athletes in the world, in my opinion. So pipe down. Just everybody relax. One thing that I was super into, I fell down this rabbit hole yesterday. Okay. So allegedly, this is all alleged, Sabrina Carpenter and actor Barry Keoghan have split. Now, this all comes after a Dumois article in which it alleges that Barry was cheating on her. It's alleged that he was cheating with an influencer who has 4 million followers. I've never heard of her before until last night. Her name is Brecky Hill. She's 21 years old, and it's alleged that she is the woman that he was cheating on Sabrina with. Well, to add fuel to the fire, but also it kind of lessened its credibility, Brecky, and I verified this, Brecky has been reposting TikTok videos where they are saying that she is the mistress. She's reposting them. Like, I went to her repost. If you guys go look at her reposts, they're probably still there too. Now, some people are saying that Sabrina and Barry have not split at all. Like, forget cheating. Like, they haven't split at all. Both of them still follow each other. Neither party has released a statement or said anything. So some people speculate that Brecky herself was the Dumois letter, and she's doing all this for clout and things like that, which I would not be surprised about because, and we can kind of segue. This can kind of be a segue. We have a few more things to cover, then it'll be a segue into Chronically Online. But I've just been seeing a lot of people. There is such is engagement low? Because there seems to be such an influx of like rage baiting and like doing things for clicks and clout right now. And I know that it always exists. So I'm not saying like, oh my God, all of a sudden people want clout. I know that happens all the time. But very recently, it seems that there has just been this increase in the things that people post, the things that people repost, and the lengths that people are willing to go for virality via the internet more than usual. And it's a little bit concerning to me. But before we go into that, because I have quite a few things on here that feed into the virality issue. Nick Cannon was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Water is wet. So we'll move on. I have not seen Wicked yet. Do not shoot me. I was so busy that I've not had time to sit down, and everyone is like, you really need to go into it like ready to watch. Like I wanted to give myself like a true date where I gave myself like an actual Wicked date, like took myself, went and got some snacks before, like really centered myself and prepared myself for the beauty that and the masterpiece that I know that this film is going to be. So I have not seen it yet. So do know that I will be giving my opinions once I get back from Basel, because I have to go see it. I'm making it a point to see it, especially before my birthday next week. I'm making it a point to see it because I simply cannot miss out anymore. Speaking of people doing things for clout, a woman by the name of Joanna Smith Griffin, she is a Forbes 30 Under 30 alum, is facing 40 years in federal prison for defrauding investors. So basically, background, defrauding investors of $10 million. So there's a wonderful recap too. If you guys are looking for a great recap on TikTok her name is The Girl Ryan on TikTok. So basically this woman, and this is why she made Forbes, for her startup called All Here. It's an AI company for children, basically that it existed in 2016. It got a contract with the LA school district. The district canceled the contract because she wasn't holding up to her end of the bargain. 2020 comes and there is a new need, and she rebrands because children were out of school for COVID. She completely rebrands and she becomes what people think is this incredible startup founder. She was telling all of these investors, so Harvard, she's also a Harvard alum. Harvard was one of her biggest investors rather. So she begins telling other investors, she already has this investment from Harvard. She begins telling other investors like that this is what she's doing, that they should invest. And she tells them that she's profiting $4 million a year. Do you guys want to know what her actual profit was? It was $11,000. She defrauded them of all of that. So where did the money go, you ask? Because what happens then? More investors come in. So what happened to that money, you ask? She spent it on lavish trips, her very lavish wedding, which you can find on TikTok and you can Google it. The wedding is everywhere, and a lavish home. How she was found out is one of the financial advisors to one of her investors had noticed that there were some discrepancies in some of the numbers. He was asking her for proof. She began emailing, pretending to be one of the startup's financial advisors. It was actually her. And the financial advisor was like, I'm telling you something is wrong. He hires a third-party auditor. She is discovered to have been defrauding her investors. And it also speaks to the point of, there are two other Forbes Under 30 alums that are notorious for fraud. The two are, where to go? Oh, Sam Bankman and Elizabeth Holmes, of course. Like, Elizabeth Holmes, if you guys have not already watched the film where Katherine Heigl plays her character, I highly suggest it. Sam Bankman was able to defraud nearly $3 billion. Elizabeth Holmes was able to defraud nearly $452 million. It only took $10 million for them to flag Joanna Smith Griffin. And to that I say again, all of it is wrong. All of it is wrong. It doesn't matter how you want to flip it. But as a Black woman, as Black people, we cannot do this. We cannot think that we can get away with the same things that other non-Black people are able to get away with. It only took $10 million for them to call your bluff. Like I said, Sam Bankman defrauded $3 billion. Elizabeth Holmes, $452 million. You just 10. And people were like, no, something is wrong. So, like I said, she is facing 40 years in prison. I actually did not see when the trial starts, but I'm sure we will be talking about it here whenever the trial does start. Okay, moving on to Chronically Online. So I do want to give a shout out to Cenat, who finished his Mafia-thon, which was 30 days straight of streaming. I don't really understand streaming. Like, I'm going to sound like like the elder millennial, and I'm not the elder millennial, but like, I don't really understand the streaming thing. But I will say, from the lives that I was able, and the streams rather, that I was able to watch from the 30 days Mafia-thon, they were so fun, so lighthearted. I loved watching Bill Nye. Just even him having Bill Nye, as I think he's all of 21 years old, maybe even younger. Like, even for him to have Bill Nye, who was such a staple of my childhood, and having someone like Bill Nye on there, was just so, like, doing real experiments right there for us to see on this stream. It was incredible. I really loved the Drewski and Kevin Hart stream that took place Thanksgiving night. And even watching Kai, I didn't know. I think he's taken it. And again, guys, I'm not deep in the Cenat universe, but I think he took in his nephew, maybe, or it's a younger cousin. And he's like really pouring into the cousin and making sure that he's good. And we get to see their dynamic. Kai seems like a really sweet guy. He really, really does. And I'm really happy for him. And, oh, right. SZA and Lizzo went on there. Like, I've really been able, like, watching this, kind of like, yes, we used to hear about Cenat, but now it's like Cenat, the Cenat. So being able to kind of, not necessarily witness his growth, because like I said, I'm not really in the Cenat universe, but just kind of seeing someone like him winning has been just really, really great and really nice. I'm like, God, don't disappoint us. Please don't turn out to be a weirdo or creepy or anything like that. I am begging you, because I'm rooting for you so, so hard. And yeah, I really loved, being able to just to see everything they did. And it was great that on the last day he was crying, just tears of joy, I assume. And even his friends around him, the guys that were in there with him, were crying and were tearing up. And it was great to see that the support that he has, those that he has reached back to pull forward on his rise. I also want to say that when I heard some of the numbers that Kai was clearing, a part of me is like, should I start streaming? Like, perhaps I need to get to streaming, because the amount of money that these streamers make is truly outrageous. Now, again, could I let somebody see my life for 30 days and 30 nights? No, but really proud of him. So happy for his success. And I'm hoping that it continues. Continuing on. So I don't know how this woman popped up on my feed, but she's now everywhere. Her name is Ashley Trevino. If you do not know who she is, you should look her up. I lost the name there was a great, I always try to give you guys a reference of a TikTok that kind of just, because sometimes it's easier just to get a rundown from somebody who's well-versed. So I am not on, I believe they call it the Chisme side of TikTok. It is more like, we have like there's like Black Twitter, last week I talked about white mess. So this is the Hispanic side of TikTok. And Ashley Trevino, they call her the inmate hopper. And basically it's because she exclusively dates inmates. To my understanding, she gained success because she kept going live with her inmate boyfriend. And her 2 daughters, I guess, are also with inmates. And this is when we go to the people who are just like posting anything for clout and things like that. So she's viscerally racist, to my understanding. She's very problematic, but she goes live all the time. She is constantly live. You can always see her on live. So she took a trip recently to El Paso, and this is how she popped up on my feed. Ooh, hair in my mouth. She took a trip to El Paso to see her tia, as she keeps saying. This woman, I guess, is younger than her. Everybody's saying it's not actually her aunt. They're saying that it is a woman that she met on TikTok and just has continued to build a relationship with, but has decided to frame it as this woman is her aunt. Her and her daughters go to El Paso. While they are there, she posts, again, she's posting in real time where she is. She's very problematic. So people don't like her. A woman who I guess that she had gone back and forth with pulls up to the bar to fight her and actively lays hands on her. Mind you, as the week goes on, she's posting very strange things, that she's saying strange things to her daughter. It's clear that their safety is at risk. She's telling her daughters when she leaves to lock doors. It's hard to describe because it's just such chaos. But if you guys can look up Ashley Trevino, what somebody described it as, the creator Selena, she often posts a bunch of different takes. She said that if we compared her to anybody, she would be compared to the black version of, you guys know the Apple Store lady, the girl that got famous for doing the dance in the Apple Store years and years ago. Then she ended up on TikTok and she's a terrible mother. And we were watching her get all these evictions, and then she was fighting people in the street, all of those things. She really is the equivalent. So if you guys do like chaos and mess, you guys might find it interesting. But it's just so interesting that all of these, it doesn't really matter, what race or ethnic group you belong to. We all have all of this crazed mess kind of that we can see on TikTok. But I want to go into the fact that, again, a big issue here though is that she is a really unfit parent, and people are posting themselves being unfit parents on social media, and it is becoming increasingly concerning. I know I keep talking about kids, but like I said, even with Housewives and even with this, I think that children are so unprotected in general. And you often wonder why people become parents, especially with the woman that I'm moving on to. So there is a woman by the name of, they call her the 17 diaper woman. To my understanding, her name is Nurse Sam. I think that's what her name was. Nurse Samantha. It was something like that. Don't get me to lying. She's a nurse. I am mad that I didn't write this down, but it just popped in my head as I was sitting here. But basically, she got famous. She first got attention on TikTok because she posted about the fact that she was refusing prenatal care. She was pregnant, refusing prenatal care as a nurse. And people were, of course, concerned about that. But she kept saying that something was wrong with her insurance. Now that seems strange, again, given the fact that she was a nurse, but who am I to judge? However, as it went on, Nurse Jen hopped in, other nurses hopped in, just expressing their deep, deep concern with the fact that she was not seeking prenatal care. I don't think that she went to her first doctor's appointment until she was maybe 7 months pregnant, that extreme. She kind of vanishes, and then she comes back as the 17 diaper mom. She had posted a video basically saying that she had a newborn and there were 17 dirty diapers laying around the house. What it incited was a bunch of other mothers feeling empowered to share what they were calling their 17 diaper moments. And basically it was them sharing things that they weren't the most proud of that they were going through when they were experiencing postpartum depression. So it's this weird shift, because this woman who is clearly not very smart, clearly problematic, kind of rebrands and comes back as this inspirational figure for mothers who are struggling with having newborns and having young children. She goes on Avery Wood's podcast, everything. She gets interviewed, all of these things. Come to find out, as she continues to post, because you can't hide that you're a shitty person for that long, we are watching in real time her abuse her toddler. She has a son who is a toddler. And what people have been seeing is, and other parents have been trying this with their children, is there's a video of them in the grocery store, and the husband goes to put something in the cart, but the son is sitting in the cart, but he goes basically to put in the son's lap. And the son, who's 2 or 3, not just flinches, but reflexes as to protect his face, as to brace for someone to hit him or for impact. And so now parents are posting, showing their kids, putting their hand in their kid's face. Their children are not flinching. Their children are not reacting, as to show that perhaps the toddler is being abused in the home. Furthermore, whenever there's a video of them eating, they're flicking the child's hand away. They're not letting the child eat. Like, it is very, very scary to watch. And I say that to say there is there's becoming people being bad parents. We talked about the resilient Jenkins and things like this. It is becoming a little bit too normalized that bad parents are posting themselves being bad parents. Of course, now they're calling for CPS and all of this for the nurse woman that I referenced. They were calling CPS for the resilient Jenkins. They've kind of disappeared. I'm not giving them any more air or breath or attention. But I say all that to say that certain things on social media are just becoming too normalized. And it is freaking me out and scaring me. And I was at a fantastic lunch yesterday. Shout out to the brand Aerie, who had myself and some incredible other creators to come and create content for them at this wonderful restaurant. And there's some country, I don't want to get it wrong. I want to say Australia. Do not let me get that wrong. But I want to say Australia, where now children are not allowed to have social media until they're 16. I was not able to go and check that. It just popped in my head again. But there has to be regulations. And I know that 16 doesn't necessarily have to do with these parents, but I say all that to say there needs to be regulations. Like, there has to be parameters around what people can and cannot post. Because here's the thing, whether CPS gets involved or not, every single time one of us does view that video, just views. If anyone does not know how the TikTok Creator Fund works, you don't get paid by the engagement, you get paid by the views. So even me, like, doing this and looking it up to research it, to talk here, she is making money off of that. And so my question is, at what point do these companies regulate what can, like, if they make the rules, if these social media platforms make the rules, then at what point can they just make the rule, like, actually, no. Like, we are going to deplatform her. Like, whether CPS gets involved or not, she's not going to make any more money on this platform showing abuse of her kid, because it begins to normalize it for other shit parents who are also on the app, who thinks that things like this are normal or feels normal because they're watching someone be crap to their kids too. So I feel like that can also be, that could be an entire conversation that I have. I feel like I should really get maybe someone on here whose parent really used to post them when they were younger, or someone who studies the impacts of children and their interaction with social media, whether they're being posted or just engaging with it, because there's a lot there and there's a lot to unpack there, and it's really scary. And it is truly like, it's been freaking me out. On to more positive things. The How Do You Want Challenge has me in a chokehold. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, even though I'm sure you do, because who could? It's Tupac's verse to How Do You Want It? And the dance is everywhere. Did I talk about this last episode? Am I talking how there was the drama around who was the original dance creator? Nonetheless, the dance has me in a chokehold, and I have decided that I'm going to make a video. Hopefully, maybe this weekend at Basel, I might make Asia dance with me. I have to make one. I have never made a dance TikTok, but this really might be the time. Everybody is doing it, and I absolutely love it. To keep it light, if you guys are looking for DIY inspiration, so she's an OG, Raven Elise, Elyse. If you guys do not know Raven Elise, she is an OG YouTuber. I used to watch her in high school, I want to say. She's an OG, even though me and her are similar age. I think maybe she's a little bit older than me, but she's been doing this for that long, like the OG. She is a big DIY girl, and every year at the holidays, she goes all out. She does have a daughter who I know just gets so excited whenever her mom pulls out the decorations. Raven is so much so of a holiday DIY girl that every single year she has a different theme. So every single year she buys completely different decorations. Like, where most of us just put our decorations downstairs or in some storage until it's time to come out. No, Raven creates a completely different theme every single year. This year, she turned her house into Whoville. And she built the Grinch out of this life-size Santa that she already had. And y'all, it is chef's kiss. The party she throws, the DIY she does. So if you guys are looking for some last-minute inspiration, we still have time. I know there are some people, it ain't me. My Christmas decorations went up the day November 1st. But For those that are still looking for inspiration and still need to get things done, go to her page. And even if you're like, I'm not going to do all that, it's just incredible to watch the way that this woman entertains. Like, if I lived in Dallas, I would die to be invited to a Raven Elise party. I'd die to be invited to a Raven Elise party now. Everything she does, the themes, it's just so magical and so wonderful. And my mom always says all the time that, because, I feel like with age, the Christmas spirit is just not as much there this year, especially because I don't want to keep bringing it up. I know somebody commented on the last video and was like, every time I think about the election, I scream. I know. And a lot of us just are not really in a cheery mood, but the holiday cheer fades in general as you get older. And my mom is always like, when you have kids, like, it comes back because the magic of children around Christmas time. So she does have a daughter who, I want to say, don't quote me on it, maybe 8 or 9, if I'm thinking correctly. So I'd be interested to see how she continues to do this as her daughter gets older. Nonetheless, if you want some light, holiday-focused, great content, and she just does great lifestyle mom content. She's a great follow. I had kind of forgotten about her, just in the shuffle of so many videos and things like that. But she is the OG. She is the queen of DIY. She is great. You guys should follow her. Keeping it light, because we're gonna keep. I feel like I went a little heavy on the front end. So a woman made a video. They always say that the comments are the funniest part of a TikTok video. That is true in this case. A woman made a video emphasizing the importance of dating a man on your intellectual level. She shared an anecdote and said that she was dating a man. She made him dinner. And she sat the plate in front of him. He looked at her adoringly, was so excited, and said, "Thank you, my little jigaboo." So she says to him, you can't say that. Like, that is considered a racial slur. To which she says, "Yes, I can. It's a term of endearment." And she's like, "No, I don't think you understand. There's history to back up what I'm saying here. Like, this is a slur." To which she is fighting her tooth and nail. As you proceed to the comments, and I'm going to read you guys some of my favorites. Women begin to, the creator is the Notorious VIC. If you want to go, I implore you to watch the video and scroll the comments yourself. Here are some of the comments that came out of that video. A woman cooked for her man. A woman was called a little Jezebel by a man she was dating because he thought that it was a French term of endearment. A woman was dating a man who said that she used too many SAT words. The word that she had used with him was comprehend. A woman had an ex take her degree off of the wall and tell her that it was insulting that she watched documentaries all the time because she must want to make his head hurt. An ex called a woman his concubine, thinking it was a term of endearment. An ex called a woman malnourished because he heard it in a Tyler, the Creator song and thought that it was another word for beautiful. A woman mentioned the Chamber of Commerce to a man she was dating, and he began to talk about Harry Potter. And while it is hilarious and while it is comic relief, if we have seen nothing, especially now, so many children were left behind, right, under the George Bush administration. And now we are witnessing a literacy crisis with children that is getting worse. My mother works in the public school system in the DMV. And the stories that she has to share about what we are facing in terms of the literacy crisis, we are about to have a lot more men that think that Jezebel is a French term of endearment or ones that do not understand the word comprehend. Open the books, take away the iPads and open the books for these children. Please read for your kids, because if not, then they will look at women like the women in these comments, or even women like me. I wish a man would look at me and be like, "Oh my God, you look so malnourished," and smile about it. And then tell you that it means beautiful. Nonetheless, it is very important to date on your intellectual date on your intellectual level. So ladies, don't forget that, because I see it too all the time. Not just are the girls dating dogs, the girls are dating dummies. Like brilliant women dating dummies. And I have been a brilliant woman who has dated a dummy. I want to be abundantly clear. one day I'll go down the rabbit hole of some of the dating mistakes that Blake has made. Because you guys will laugh. I tell this story on live, and somebody brought it up to me at a brand event, and I was like, "Oh, y'all be on the lives." I was on TikTok live about how a man left me in his house to go on a date with his ex, and I threw dry rice. His house was all carpet, and so I was like, I can't go to jail. So I'm not about to bust no TVs or things like that. I was always thinking the bigger picture. And this was a while ago. This was the top of COVID. And always thinking bigger picture. I was like, I'm going to be a star. I can't catch no charge. So I took dry rice grains and threw them all over the carpet. If he still lives there, then I know that he is probably still vacuuming and finding rice kernels today because I threw them everywhere. I say all that to say he was a big dummy. So one day, the things that happen, the negative things that happen when you do not date a man the things that can happen when you do not date a man that is on your intellectual level. Take it from me, divas. Date you a man that at bare minimum understands a few vocabulary words. At bare minimum. That's the least you can do. It's the least you can do. Okay, lastly, this will probably be a little shorter of an episode as we're kind of dealing with the holidays and I got to go catch me a plane. Anyway, the We Listen and We Don't Judge challenge on TikTok. Y'all hate your partners. And I mean hate your partners. I saw one clip where the man said that told his wife that he dreams of his ex-girlfriends at night and then wakes up and kisses her. We Listen and We Don't Judge. The one woman, she's a creator and her boyfriend said that he throws out her PR packages when he sees them at the door when she's not home because he just doesn't feel like dealing with the buildup. Terrifying. They're really, really bad. The We Listen and We Don't Judge. Now, if you want to watch one that was nice with people who clearly like each other, and are clearly just are living to what the intention of the challenge is, watch OBO Jones, who was on here. He is episode 3, I want to say. He and his boyfriend did it, and it was really nice. It was really lighthearted. You can tell they actually like each other. You can tell they weren't trying to throw jabs or ruin each other's lives. It was just really great, really sweet. Like I said, we all just need some happiness in our lives, and that is exactly what they gave us with that one. And there are some cute ones. I did see some cute ones, but overwhelmingly, it's awful. They have compilations, y'all. It's so bad that they have We Listen and We Don't Judge compilations of how awful some of the things that these couples are saying to each other are. I sent it to my mom because the first one that she had seen was OBO. So she sent it to me and she was just like, oh, they're so cute. How sweet is this? I said, this is actually terrible. The challenge itself is actually terrible. I know that you think that this is so sweet right now, but let me send you the others. And boy, oh boy, her response to the compilations was, oh, we have to stop this. We have to stop this. So watch OBOs, and then I think we should all just stop the We Listen and We Don't Judge. Convos with friends. You all might be able to relate to this one. Is everyone okay? I actually am in a group chat called Is Everyone Okay? Because I am convinced that everyone is absolutely losing their goddamn minds. I don't know what is in the water. Well, I do know what's in the water. We're facing a mental health crisis. We are about to face a financial crisis. Yes, when I think about society right now, I can understand why people are losing their minds. But overwhelmingly, I find myself in conversation with my friends asking, what's happening? Like, what's happening here? Like, is you cool? I find myself like, there is no better time for that phrase to have gained popularity. Because genuinely, is you cool? I am so confused and perplexed by just everybody just seems to be, there's crash outs everywhere. And I want to be honest. I want to be clear. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I believe we are all one situation away from a giant crash out. But I'm starting to wonder if people have group chats. I'm starting to wonder if people have community. I'm starting to wonder if people have people in their lives that will yank them up. And my mama, you talk to Bruce or Kirsten, my mom and daddy, they're going to tell you right now, I'm 30 years old next week. They check me all the time. My mom is always like, oh, let me tell you something. If I ever saw you do this, I'm driving up to New York and I'm yanking you. Do you all not have people in your lives to tell you that you are losing it? Group chats, anything. It just seems like everybody is losing it and losing it so publicly, and we're watching it. And so I am praying for peace for myself and for others as we go into what is guaranteed to be a very unpeaceful year, because I don't know what is happening. And so I leave you with, if you think if you believe that you want to post about something or say something, and you ever think, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do this, take it to the group chat. Just consult somebody. Ask somebody. But I think it emphasizes how important right now community is. It is so, so important, because the girls are not well. People are not well. Shit is getting spooky. If you haven't already, go listen to the Flow album. It's absolutely fantastic. It actually was the intro. If you guys listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it was the intro song for last episode. I meant to talk about it last episode as well and forgot to. The Flow album is 10 out of 10. The British girls, I've said it before, the British girlies do it for me every time, but that Flow album is chef's kiss. Okay, y'all, I got Basel to do. Hopefully I come back with some new jobs. Hopefully I come back with some new men. Yeah. And we turn 30 next week. All right. Love y'all. Bye.